Only you know what you're more successful with. If you're successful in writing out these things and then filling the formula in or filling it in, take that approach, right? If you're okay writing it out without doing this, I mean, whatever's going to work for you here, right? Out of the 10 questions, you want to pick the 2 successes that you get. You want to have the probability for the successes is that. And you want to have the probability for the other ones, which are the failures, which are 8. You can work that out and it'll lead to something here, right? The next part here, though, is the part that is asking you to do at least 2 correct answers. That's a lot more work, isn't it? Probability of at least 2, what do we have to do here? Probability of 2 plus probability of 3 correct plus probability of 4 correct plus all the way up to probability of 10. That's how many cases is that? Isn't it 9 cases? There's an easier way to do it. What's the easier way here? Yeah, easier to use the complement. What's the complement of this? It's easier to compliment somebody and hope that gives you the answer.
0 and 1.
0 and 1. If you can work out 0 and 1, it's only 2 cases, right? The complement has 2 cases involved. 2 cases. The probability of 1 or 0 plus the probability of 1. So I'm going to work out the probability. Instead of doing this, I'm going to say the probability of at least 2 is 100% minus the probability of at most how much?
8.
Not 8.
9.
What? What do you? How many? You can get 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, ... all the way up to 10. At least 2 is all of these. At least 2 is all of those. It goes with at most. At most 1. At most 1, right? Oh, I thought you said at most 10. I'm talking about this, right? At most 10. At most. If you want to know what all these are, and you know all of them add up to 100%, right? If you want to know what these ones are, you work out what these ones are. 1 minus the probability of at most 1. So I'm going to work out what the probability of at most 1 is first, right? Probability of 0 plus probability of 1. Probability of 0 is from the 10 questions, choose 0 correct. This means you're doing worse than the trained monkeys we talked about. You got none correct. It's not that likely. It happens, but it's not that likely. And then the probability of getting 1 correct. You want to choose from the 10 questions, choose the one that's the correct. And then you need the probability for the corrects and the incorrects. If you work out each of those, this is going to be over whatever 5 to the 10th is. What is 5 to the 10th? I'll get the calculator out, don't worry. What did I do? Oh, I just did 5 to the 5th, you're right. See, yeah, maybe I should leave it up to you. 5 to the 10th. Holy cow, that's a big number. And this one's going to be out of the same thing, right? What's the top number here? What's 4 to the 10th? You're more than welcome to use decimals or percentages if you want. I don't want to bias you into thinking you have to use fractions. And I think I've done that here. So, what is it? 1048? Okay. And what's the other one here? Yeah. 262144. But then we need to multiply it by 10 for that because that's a 10. right? You add those two numbers together, what do you get? 2621. What? I did already. No, I did this one I did that number you gave me by 10. You told me this, I multiplied this by 10. No, because that's not 10. 10C0 is 1. What do those add up to? We'll pause. What is it?
3670016.
367. Give me groups, 3 or 4 at a time.
0016.
Out of that big number, right? Okay. I want you to realize you're welcome to use decimals if you want. If you want to put this in and say 10 C0 here, math over here, 10 C0, unless hopefully you realize what 10 C0 is, but you can put it in if you want. You can do 1/5, 1 divided by 5 to the power of 0. Hopefully you realize that's 1 as well. And then if you do this to the 10th, it'll give you that number as a decimal. That's fine if you do that. I'm going to store that as A or something like that. And then if you do the same thing now, you can go back and do this, right? Entry, you can go back and say, now I want this to be to the 9th, but this one to be to the 1st, and then this one to be choosing 1, right? Isn't that my second calculation? And then that gives you the second thing, which is that. I'm going to store that as B. So then I want what those two add together to be, right? If you don't want to do the fraction thing, please don't think you have to do the fraction thing. You can give your answer as a decimal or as a fraction. Okay, you can do whatever you like. Are we okay with that idea? I want to show you how you can use, there's a graphing calculator function that works on this. Can you calculate this one as a decimal for yourself first? You don't have to do the at least 16 times manually because that will be a lot of work. Oh, actually, you know what? I never finished that one, did I? What did I forget to do here? It's 1 minus this, right? It's 100% minus that. Or in other words, all of that. If you go back to the calculator, I can either go 1 minus, if I'm using the decimals, I can go 1 minus my answer. Whoops. 1 minus, answer is there, 62.4%. 62.4%. Or if you wanted it as a fraction, you could do that as a fraction. That is B. C is just writing an expression again. I don't know why I put that in there. 64.5 is what this works out to as a percentage. 62.4. Okay, I do want to show you how to use a calculator for this kind of thing. But we will stop